So a while back, there was discussed amongst community residents and traders that we wanted to create an association that maximised the potential of Castle Road, but also looked at some of the environmental possibilities of Castle Road. We've got a current association, Castle Road Community Association, which we've just had a CIC done. So that allows us to become a community interest company, which allows us to go for funding and different other bits and bobs. Now, what's been born out of the community association is that we've got gardening groups, we've got greater interest in the community, and we've got grand plans in changing Castle Road alongside the council, which we're really grateful for the funding, to make Castle Road something completely different. Now, Castle Road is in a historic road. There's so many local businesses, and that's probably the main selling point of Castle Road: the creativity and the ingenuity and just the sheer locality of all of the business owners in Castle Road makes this quite a special road. There's not many other roads, I'd say, in Portsmouth, let alone say the country, that has locals with their shops and their businesses in the same area.
It's sort of locally famous as well, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's very famous. You've got, obviously, you're standing here outside the old wheelbarrow, but you've got Peter Sellers was born in the Mayfair just here. Well, obviously not Mayfair, there's a Mayfair pub at the time, or the building above it. And obviously you had Arthur Conan Doyle that was living down the other end of the road for a bit. Obviously the
just have a shot of
Sherlock
the
Holmes.
Famous Castle Road with the clock tower at the end. Yes, tell us how it all came about then, how it became a sort of mini LTN.
So during COVID, there was a lot of changes, I think, across the country, especially in the I don't know, the host sector, where you've got lots of pubs and you've got lots of bars. So what's happened is they put bollards out the front of all the bars. So you had Delaney's, they had the bollards, you had Pie and Vinyl, they had bollards, and of course they tried to reduce the thoroughfare between people. So where you've got the thoroughfare between people being reduced, they've got the bollards there. The road was restricted anyway, so now we've got a situation where, well, people were seeing that and thinking, okay, what can we do to improve that? And that was brought, and the idea of Castle Road not being closed, it's open to the public, it's open to pedestrians. So I don't like the term being closed to cars, or, you know, shut for cars. It's not, that's not a thing. It's open.
It's not anti-cars, is it? It's pro-pedestrians and businesses.
I mean, obviously bikes still come down the road, but it is pro-pedestrians, and that's where we're going for it. And obviously the high street at the moment is completely changing. You only have to walk down Commercial Road or any shopping centre across Portsmouth or in the rest of the country. Shops and the high street, they're slowly dying. But what we've got here, it needs protecting. We've got local people owning local businesses for locals. Now, that to me, that's not a great big, I don't know, you get a great big company that's come in and owns a coffee shop or a chain coming into a clothes shop. The money that's been invested in Castle Road locally goes to the locals, which then gets reinvested into the local community. And obviously you're cutting down so much things like emissions, and people want to walk down Castle Road. And we're trying to create a cultural hub.
Joggers, just got some joggers there.
We're trying to create a cultural hub for the community. So the grand plans and having trees and having artwork and having that community feel in this road.
I've just seen a little kid on his little bike in the middle of the road, which of course, if you had cars streaming down there,
no, it wouldn't happen.
It wouldn't happen.
But obviously, when this starts to change and it starts to become more pedestrianised in its look, then you'll see that obviously people will start to adopt that mentality of where they can walk down the middle of Castle Road. They can obviously be aware of all the bikes and bits and bobs that might come through the road, but at the same time it becomes that more relaxed. And with the amount of trees, the amount of greenery that we want to put in the road, this becomes almost like a standing light with what can be achieved as a community, working with the council to get something truly special. Now, we are really grateful for one of our directors, Pete Codling. He was able to help design through mood boards and meetings with lots of residents and community members what the road should look like. And he's put a plan in place, working with the council right now, and we're standing right in this section here. I don't know if you can see this bit here, but this section here used to be a small pavement that used to come through here, not very big.
I do, yes,
and
I remember.
This used to be a thoroughfare.
I didn't even notice it.
And where it is now, this chunked bit come out,
Yeah, it was really tight, wasn't it, along there?
we had
Yeah.
a few accidents across here. Unfortunately, on the crossing there, someone went straight across and unfortunately knocked someone over about 3 years ago.
Oh God.
Which was obviously, terrible. Obviously, with this section here, it does slow the traffic down.
Yes, and you've got the 20, the traffic calming measure like the 20, which is across most of Portsmouth now, which has really helped as well, I think.
Yeah, it does. And obviously, with this chunks bit here, it allows for a bit more community feel, and it's the entrance to the road.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how we come about. We're looking to make sure that we go and improve the road even further. And we've got grand plans, and we're working with the council and the community, where we've got I'd say around about maybe 85, 90 members now.
Wow.
In terms of our the road's only quite small. We've only got members say from this corner here.
Yeah.
So for us, we're just working as a community amongst the community association to improve Castle Road, to make the lives of people in Castle Road better, and try to, make this more of a, improve what's already here.
Yes.
Not change it, but improve and actually focus on and emphasise the fantastic points that Castle Road has.
It's amazing, yeah. I mean, while we've been talking about half a dozen bikes have come through, just really, casually and relaxed.
And where this,
sorry.
And where this is for pedestrians applying straight to the common, we have peak seasons as well. So obviously we're in a situation at the moment, the weather's not exactly sunshine and rainbows, but at the same time, we've got a situation where when the sun starts to shine, this becomes packed. It does. People walk through. It's constant.
I can attest to that.
It's constant, and obviously to improve and focus and have people walking through and stop and take notice of what's around them in Castle Road, plus all the greenery, plus using the local businesses. That's only got to be good for the environment. It's only got to be good for what Portsmouth is, and brings traders and businesses and people all to this area. There's a fantastic event coming up shortly called the Battle of Southsea. It's an anniversary event, 125 years, which is being hosted in and around Castle Road. Now, we're aiming obviously with the road as it is, it allows those type of things to take place, and we're talking about having local markets, we're talking about having antiques fairs, we're talking about lots of different things to, like I said before, not change Castle Road, but to emphasise and focus on and improve those fantastic points that it's got. Yeah,
take it from what it was. I can attest to this. It was just like you say, a rat run with some business on it. Now it's like you say, you're part of a community.
Yeah, it's all about community.
Would you say the community's thrived since it's?
Well, I moved in before COVID, maybe 2 years before COVID, I'd say, before all this started, and it seems that I didn't really know my neighbours at that point, didn't really speak to the people next door.
No,
maybe knew a few people and just say hello, maybe in like most streets.
Like most streets,
most streets. And I've come from an area, obviously areas in Portsmouth, that's the norm. You sit down, you don't even know your neighbours.
No, you might say hello if you're lucky.
This is different. I can walk down this road now, and with the member and the community that we've got, you know everybody. You say hello. There's a community interest in people. There's a community interest in how people are getting on, the welfare, the you could talk about the well-being of a community. This is a real good, almost like a pilot to how communities maybe could turn back maybe a little bit in time to a point where everyone was looking out for each other and the community was working together to love and respect their area. And I think when love where you live, I think it's a true point when you talk about Castle Road, because people had jumped, and with the community association coming alive and now becoming a CIC, you can see that there is a greater invested feel from the members of our community in Castle Road, wanting to change it for the better. And I think that's only a good point.
Yeah, it's almost like a prototype for what we want all over, really. Community, safer.
Locality.
You're a local business owner, obviously.
No, I live. I don't
you just live there?
No, I live in here. I don't own a business.
You're just a member of the community.
Yeah, I live in Castle Road. And of course, obviously, from a resident standpoint, obviously, I know all the business owners. And we say hello to all the residents.
Sure.
I think it's just easy to sit in maybe your house or your home and sort of ignore the life around you, where you do have a whole community amongst you, which you can then link in, you can embrace, and you can move towards a community that looks after itself. say for instance our gardening group, okay?
Yeah.
So the gardening group was born out of a wish by community members to improve the planters, which obviously ever changing. When we turn around, Castle Road will start to morph into something completely different, and check out Pete Codling's designs for that, but it will change and morph into something different. And we've got a very strong gardening group that will link in with the planting. Now that takes the burden off of the City Council, because you've got the community members helping out with the gardening, making sure the plants are watered in the summer, make sure all the deadheading's done, making sure all the plants are maintained, and that's what happens. And we've got a fantastic gardening group that do that. So that doesn't happen everywhere.
No.
And I've noticed that with the gardening group coming out, and people do notice, and things like baskets get changed and stuff, and just improve, in other roads. I've seen it, and
I can see the bollards aren't just big concrete blocks. They're actually full of like plants and stuff, which again helps with biodiversity. I mean, it's small, but it still helps with the look. It helps with the biodiversity.
And this is the first punt as well.
Yeah.
This is where we wanted to.
Yeah, it's at the beginning, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the very beginning. I mean, the actual look of the road itself will completely change.
Yeah.
There's going to be lots of trees in the road, blossom trees, and a variety of different shrubs and plants in the road. Now, when that happens, we need to work with the council in terms of what will be going in and what will be designed. But at the same time, we've got this community around us that will take that, or Castle Road itself will take it and ensure that it's looked after, and ensure that people are stepping out their front doors and they are looking at the community around them and ensuring that we can work together to make this a better place.
Yes, that's what it's all about. So I'm getting the feeling it's sort of like the community's thrived since
massively.
You've removed it from just an area that cars can come through to somewhere where you're all banding together. You're taking strain of obviously a fund reduced council. You're taking the strain off them, and people can walk around safely. I mean, have you spoken to the business owners? Say that it's helped their business?
See, in the middle, obviously we're sitting in a climate at the moment where there's money's tight across the board. Now businesses around the city are starting to, I say fold, but they're starting to find it really, really tough because of the lack of, say, money that people are passing around.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just evident across Portsmouth, across the whole of the country. But at the same time, obviously, what we're trying to do now with this, if Castle Road doesn't, say, morph into something, improve its best points, now's the time to do it. We've got to do it because we need to support the local businesses to keep that locality, keep that eclectic local thriving business person in this road.
Yeah.
Keep them there rather than it going to a big chain. And that, for me, that's the most important thing about Castle Road, is that we have this community here, and the community members are invested in the community. We haven't got someone sitting with a chain store here in the middle of Castle Road, sitting on an offshore account somewhere, or whatever it is.
It's going back into the community.
It's going straight back into the community, because I always use it like Castle Road Pound. I know there's a business owner, say in Delaney's, that will take their pound and they will spend it in Revive. Now the business owner in Revive will then take their pound and go and spend it in Pie and Vinyl. And Pie and Vinyl, the business owner that might take their pound and take it into the barbershop across the road and spend their pound there. And then they might take their pound, and obviously it goes on and on and on.
And I'm sure none of these businesses are avoiding taxes like these huge companies that do everything they can to avoid every ounce of tax they can get away with, whereas this is all going back into it's the country and the local locality.
It's basically Castle Road. The money going in Castle Road stays around our local area. The business owners live within a stone's throw of Castle Road, if not on Castle Road. And that money that gets pushed around Castle Road in this local area can only then help the locality of all of the members. It can only help the people who live in and around Castle Road, because eventually the area starts to shift up. There's more money going into the council, there's more money going to the local area, the business starts to thrive, they start to look after things, they start to look and notice about what can we do, how can we, it's almost like an old American adage, it's not what your country can do for you, it's what you can do for your country. It's the same with Castle Road. It's not what what Castle Road can do for you, it's what you can do for Castle Road.
That's it.
And this local area, when I say Castle Road, I don't mean just one section of road, I mean this area. I mean, obviously we call it the Castle Road area around here, because obviously Castle Road is sort of almost like the more central road with the shops and bits and bobs on. But at the same time, we're talking about the common, we're talking about parade tea rooms there, we're talking about the roads in and around it. Hence, we've got this section here that's been changed because obviously the members got involved and decided to change this section here. Now this section here is a great improvement because it allows, say, Giuseppe's now, they've got this bit here, they can get some bits and bobs.
Seats. Yeah, it used to be a very thin strip, didn't it?
They can have outdoor eating. You've got also this section here, which now obviously slows the cars down. We've got these bollards. Obviously, cars do slow down here. They used to just career through. Now, I must say, obviously, this is all thanks working with the Community Association and the council. The council have been nothing but supportive, helping us out. Local councillors, the main body of the council, all of them involved. It doesn't matter what party it is, all of them have been involved to improve Castle Road and to help us to achieve this point. And I could just massive thanks to Portsmouth City Council for allowing us to bring that community round here. But they didn't have to. They could have just looked at us and thought, what are they doing? But they haven't. They've embraced it and they've gone with us. Amazing. And we're very grateful. And I think they'll find that with the money invested into Castle Road, they won't be let down by the outcome. Because the outcome that will come from this is a community orientated feel to this road with a supportive atmosphere towards businesses. For me, that's Castle Road in a nutshell.
Have you had any opposition at all to it in the beginning or now? Or?
Yeah, there's been a little bit of opposition, but obviously, like anything, everybody's entitled to their own opinion of what Castle Road could be or what it should be, and that's absolutely fine, because I embrace all those opinions, because you can look at those opinions and think, okay, how can we incorporate those and make it better for that person or group of people or whatever, you know, whatever opposition you have on this, right? What can you do to support that? And I think what was been done with Pete and where we bring in the community in to help do the mood board and the feel for Castle Road, I think there was a lot of work done with the community members, almost like a steering group, and the council to work through those problems, to take away those niggles, to get this to where it is now and to look of where it can be.
So Pete's a famous sort of local artist, Pete Codling, yes. He's done the big fish out on the seafront with all the plastic bottles. He's a famous local artist, really great guy. Just to break down how he's helped and designed this, some of the.
So we are very lucky. We've got some really talented individuals in this road, without naming every single person, but we have got some amazingly talented individuals, and we've got a really broad, eclectic range of community members, all that bring their own special skills to Castle Road. Pete's obvious skill being an artist and having designed roads in the past and features. I think he was part and parcel of designing the stretch around Arundel Street, where you've got obviously the links to the literary aspect of Portsmouth. Pete has been instrumental in helping us to get together and to basically put down what was spoken about on paper, so that we have a almost like a guide, an inspirational document that we can say, okay, this is what we're thriving towards. Now, like anything, you know, when you get down to the whole building of the street, things can change. But we have a goal, and Pete's helped us instrumentally to get that to that goal. Working with the local members, working with all of our community members in and around Castle Road to garner that feel of what people want. And I think the most overriding thing is when the council put out a questionnaire about Castle Road, what people wanted, the overriding thing was greenery. They wanted trees and greenery. And so that's been incorporated into the design. Now I obviously you might be able to pick up Pete's designs for Castle Road, but if you look at that, I don't think I've ever seen a plan with as many trees and as many shrubs and green spots as what's been put into that plan. If you look at Castle, it's not a very long road. It's quite short. But in the short amount of time, I think there may be a tree every 10 paces. We're talking trees, we're talking green, we're talking... Because that's what people wanted. And if the council wanted us to give an example of what Castle Road could be, the community have spoken, and the community come around. They said that they wanted it like this. There was a whole questionnaire about, would you want it to be part open, do you want it to be left open, or do you want it to be open for pedestrians only and with bikes, etc. And the one that they chose was that we have this closure here in terms of both ends, and we keep it open for pedestrians and bikes.
Wow.
That was chosen on the council's questionnaire survey.
Just shows when people are given the choice, that this is what they pick. You know, they want greenery, they want safe, they want less air pollution. I mean, would you say, have you noticed as a local resident improved air quality at all?
Yeah, I used to wipe my window down every month, because it used to be covered in
soot
and emissions and stuff like that. You can see it, and I used to wipe my window down, and you could pull it off. I haven't wiped my window down once in the last 2 years. So that's not me just being lazy. It doesn't need doing. And obviously that's just a small example of maybe the changes that have happened, considering that obviously Portsmouth down the central corridor has one of the, I think, the most polluted areas in the country. Having that feel where the cars are now away from Castle Road, it has changed it. Now obviously the argument there would be that cars may have moved elsewhere, but at the same time, it's not about those cars moving elsewhere. It's about, can we have a mentality where people take local bus and public transport down to this area and they walk through Castle Road. So it's not about moving cars elsewhere. It's about trying to promote a feeling that can you walk down Castle Road? Can you use I mean, we live in an amazing area in Portsmouth where you've got greenery all around you. Down in the Common, you've got Castle Road, and around it you've got some fantastic buildings and things to see. So maybe it's about promoting that understanding that people should maybe walk and maybe embrace that. I mean, obviously, it's not, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not acceptable for, people want to use their cars and whatever it is. Some people have to use a car, which is, but we're not talking about. We're talking about maybe we can promote an ideal, maybe that look, we can do this together as a community. We can walk. We can use public transport, which is good.
That's brilliant.